guys, and welcome to another episode of Real Chat Lounge. Today's conversation, I know I say this all the time, I say this on every episode that is interesting, but this conversation is different and it's also very, I think we can get a lot out of this conversation. It's going to be inspirational. I don't know. I feel like the person that I am here with, she's so ambitious that I feel like I can even learn a lot from her. So today's conversation is gonna be about politics. I know we do politics on Real Chat. So I have the youngest candidate, the youngest African black candidate, right? And in Belgium. So today we're gonna do talk all things politics. So we're gonna get to know her more, what she does, how she got into it, and if you want to get into it, how you can get into it. So let me welcome my guest, Anita. Hi, girl. Welcome to Real Chat Lounge. Thank you so much for coming on this spot. How are you doing?
I'm doing well. Thank you for your invitation.
No worries. So before we get into the conversation, right? Something I'm gonna put back in. So we're gonna do some like vibe check just to make sure that everything is good. The vibe is all good. So I'm gonna it's a this or that game. So I'm gonna tell you two things, you choose, and you just briefly explain why. Okay. So the first one is, and it kind of fits what she does. Okay. So change yourself or change the world?
Change the world, of course.
Yeah?
Yeah. Why should I change myself?
Okay, I mean, that's interesting, yeah.
Yeah, I mean, like, there's a lot in the world that can be changed for the better of all humanity, so...
Wow, yeah, makes sense. Yeah, you'd rather change the world than change yourself. Why do you actually have to change yourself? Yeah, that's nice. So, have the ability to influence others or the ability to influence yourself?
Ability to influence others, because I think I'm kind of very critical towards myself, so I really reflect on the things that I do. So having the power to influence others is actually having influence to change their habits, the way they're thinking, and that can help contribute to the change that I want to see in the world.
Okay, that's good. Final two ones. So if you have to choose, so power or money?
Power. It's funny that you're asking this question.
Why?
Because I asked the same question to another known politician, Christophe Calvo, maybe.
Oh, yeah.
And he chose also power, and I was like,
isn't this a political thing?
Maybe, because I was thinking maybe he would have chosen for money, because I'm like, money is power actually.
Yeah,
so
exactly.
I was like, even though, imagine if I chose right now money, it's still power.
Exactly.
But I would go for power. I don't know, maybe it's an abstract thing that politicians like.
I think so, because politicians love a lot of power because, of course, when you have power, it can also influence having money as well. But from an outside looking in, I would choose money because I don't think I want to have that kind of power.
Yeah.
It can be overwhelming. Yeah. Imagine making the decisions for everyone, for humankind, like humanity, the world. I think it's a lot. I'd rather have a lot of money and just,
I should say, okay, let me adjust my I think maybe 50-50 because I'm still in between.
Yeah, I get it. Okay, one last one. So, would you rather sacrifice time for money or sacrifice money for time?
Ooh, wait. Yeah. I'll take my time.
Yeah, so you would just sacrifice time for money, or would you sacrifice money for time? So imagine you have like more time. You are like, okay, would you sacrifice more money to have more time, or would you sacrifice more time to have more money?
I think sacrifice money for more time.
Okay.
Because I think time is something that you cannot really control.
True.
You cannot put time in a box, and you do not actually know how long. Let's say how long that you will be even on earth, or how much time you have to fix things. So I think I will put money in to have more time. So that it all goes back to like the influence, power, and everything. So I'm like, maybe that, because the more time that I might have, maybe I can reinvest it into money. So I'm
true.
Maybe that.
I think where I am right now, definitely money.
But I get you though.
Yeah.
I get you because in the world that we live, money speaks. Money is
Exactly.
like,
money is literally power.
and it's sad because it shouldn't be actually like that though,
Yeah,
to me
me
personally.
too.
But yeah, it's the reality. Money
Yeah.
speaks now.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay, fine. The vibe is good, so we can dig in.
Yeah.
So, who is Anita?
Yeah. Let me just maybe talk about my background. So
Mhm,
I
yeah.
am a Ghanaian
Yeah.
living in Belgium.
Yes.
Uh,
Born and bred here, I think.
Yes,
Yeah.
exactly.
Yeah.
I'm actually a daughter of a pastor.
Ooh.
So that's for some people shocking, like
Okay, we will
pastor
get into
daughter
that. Yeah.
going to politics.
Yeah. But we'll get into it. I think it's actually like past Christians should actually be in that position. We need to
Exactly.
be able to influence the world. Yeah. Definitely.
Exactly.
Yeah.
So I'm a pastor's daughter. I sing in a choir.
Nice.
I'm a very engaged person,
Mhm.
and I think it's just the intrinsic motivation
Mhm.
and just love to see change and to see people also making it in life and
Mhm.
seeing a problem and knowing that I can offer a solution. It's
Mhm.
not the perfect solution, but I can contribute. So I'm a very engaged person. I've been 3 years a youth advisor for the
Okay.
Flemish Youth Council.
Wow.
That was also through elections and all.
Mhm.
I'm also active in a local youth council.
Mhm.
I'm also impact officer of Global Shapers.
Wow.
That's like the youth part of the World Economic Forum.
Mhm.
And apart from that, I'm also right now finishing my master's.
Wow.
And
In
seven-
what? In political science?
It's so obvious. It's like okay,
yeah. Okay. So let's get into it. Like growing up.
Mhm.
Did you ever like? Cause you know when you're growing up, you ask you, what do you want to be when you grow up?
Yes.
Did you always know? Oh, I want to be a politician.
Absolutely not. Actually, it was not even in my mind or in my agenda. Like that's where my life will be going towards.
Mhm.
Because the first person who asked me was my father.
Yeah.
He was like, "Yeah, what do you want to be?" And I was like, "I want to be a vet. I want to take care of the animals." I was like 7 years old,
Yeah.
8 years old. I don't know what I was talking about though. And then my father was like, "What do you think about politician?" And as a
yeah.
8-year-old, I'm like, what does that even mean? So I
Yeah.
just forgot about it, never thought of it. So it was never even on my agenda or my ambition to do something with politics or influence or governance.
Mm.
So
At
yeah.
what age did they then come in?
Yeah.
Was it through your studies or something? Like, how did you
Yeah.
come up with this idea? Like, okay,
Mm.
no, now I think I'm gonna get into it.
It's actually, to me, an interesting story because it's not like a straight
Mhm.
path. It's like crooked path, and then out of nowhere you find that
Yeah.
ambition, your purpose. So maybe again a background. I studied 4 years Latin,
Oh.
and then in my 4th year I had like difficulty with math.
Mm.
Normally I never had difficulties with those things, but there was like a particular teacher that sometimes, yeah, you know, when they do not give good lessons, then you begin to have struggles. And then it was during course, she took me outside and she just told me, you know, Anita, you will never be able to do math. Like,
What?
and it was out of nowhere, so it really shook my world because that was the year that I doubled. So
Oh, yeah.
I had to repeat my year again, and I did not know what I wanted to do with my life. I think it was kind of a subconscious fear that was created in me, though I was speaking against that voice inside of me, like,
Mhm.
no, how can a teacher know me better than me?
Yeah, true.
So from where does she come to just say something like that? But that was a year that really transformed everything because I think the Lord really did that on purpose. I was launched into a place where I did not know where I was going, what I wanted to do with my life. But there was then another teacher during a course of social science, and it was about injustice, so it was a bit linked to politics. And I felt really fired up. I was like, how come this is still existing? Because this is a solution. And so my teacher was like, Anita, I think you should do something with society, with politics, with leadership. And I was like, okay. So I just took it, but it's not that I was really focused on that. So then in the same year, I get to know the Flemish Youth Council.
How did you?
Funny story again. Just the summer, school was finished. I was just full of doubt, like, oh, I failed my year. I have to start a new year. All my friends are going before me. And I was just on Instagram, just scrolling, and I saw something about exchange students from Norway to come to Belgium. And I just submitted, so you had to write a motivation letter. So I just did it just because I was bored. And to my surprise, they respond, yes, you have been selected. And I was like, what have I done to myself? I don't know what it's I did not even know what it was all about. So I was like, let me just go, I just have time. And that's how I rolled into like the Flemish Youth Council. And the Flemish Youth Council is actually the official organ of the Flemish government for everything that has to do with young people, organizations. So every form of policy that has influence on young people in Belgium, it's made there. So I was really not even aware of what I was getting myself into. Mind you, I was someone that is more introvert, so I'm not like outspoken. So most of the time when people were talking, I'll be the one just quiet looking at them and thinking in my head, but not speaking it out. But that really pushed me out of my comfort zone. So it made me more stable in my personality, more stronger to voice out the things that I'm thinking, though it might be wrong. Like I was no more afraid to lift my voice.
Okay.
So that's how.
Okay. So then, when was the moment that you realized that okay, this is something that I actually want to do? Like me, I want to actually make this a career, and I want to be a candidate. I want to be like. How did that happen?
Yeah. So after that experience with the Flemish Youth Council, and when I noticed that you actually can make a change, though it's a little change, but it means something in a policy agenda. So I was like, what can I do then in my local community to also have impact? So then I joined also the local youth council to strengthen them with that experience that I had. And in the same period, I also joined the local political party. That was also just by accident, going to an event and then someone talking to me, and I said, okay, why not? So that's how I rolled in. So it became then a part of me where I was always looking what's the decisions that were made, watching the news, talking about it. So then I felt like maybe I should go towards that direction. And also what gave really the confirmation is that there were two prophecies actually about it. Yeah, the first one was actually my dad. So he was already, but I never knew that it was actually the plan.
Yeah, I mean, he did say that at the age of 7.
Yeah.
You know, like you would think, oh, he was probably just laughing, but he actually gave that prophecy at a very young age where you didn't even think anything of it.
No, exactly. And I think he even forgot about that. Like it was not like an obsession like my daughter's going to do it. No, absolutely not. And then the second one was also a very known pastor, Pastor Nelson from the Netherlands. He said that you're going to be someone with influence in the political arena. But also apart from that, the Lord also confirmed it through dreams, through visions, through people speaking. So one thing that I always say that it's also important as young as you are to have just your relationship with God. Like because if the one that made you, like he has a purpose for you, so you just have to get to know him. He will speak directly also to you so that you will not be confused like what should I do with my life? So that was something that really helped me. So knowing that it was God's plan and also the confirmation. So then for me, it was actually a waiting moment, like when that I'll be asked. And even about that, I saw it first in a dream.
Wow.
That they were discussing about two people. And then they said, let us speak, Anita. 1 month later, they contacted me. So I knew what was coming.
Wow.
So then you know that you're led. And it's not, voila.
Wow.
So then from there I knew that, okay, that is the direction. But I do not know in the future where I'm going, but I know for now that if I can have influence in my own community, then I'm doing it.
Okay. And when it comes to like choosing a party, because of course there are a lot of parties. I mean, we know the famous one. What made you decide to go for this particular party?
So before that I joined the Voor Mechelen. Now I was in the Open VLD. It's a liberal party. What is actually a bit of a controversy. So for that I was just rolled into it. It's not that I really was like, okay, I'm going to go for that, but I was rolled into it. And I saw the difference between the local and the Flemish level. The local level is more accessible like the plans they have is, it's, you know, you see the ideology behind their statements, but it's not that extreme or that vivid as on the Flemish level. So what I did actually, I just prayed to God about it. Like, God, if you do not want me to stay here, find a way that things will be like a chaos. Then I will know that I don't belong here in this party. So that was throughout my prayer also. Like, I'm doing this, God, not because of a political name, but what kind of influence I can have on that party and the people inside of that. Because I think that's important. Wherever you find yourself, just ask yourself, like, how can I have a positive influence on the people? Even if it's that, then I'm fine with it. It's not like I have to be on stage and everything, but like even behind the scene, you can have so much influence on the way people think. So I do believe that I was placed there
for a reason.
For a reason, because imagine that I will be always avoiding political parties because it's not really aligned with what I believe. How can you then make impact?
True.
Think about Daniel. He was serving a pagan king. Like, he could say, okay, I will not serve him, but he did, and he was led by God to do it. So you just have to set really your own boundaries, know your principles, and then be led by God. And then, apart from that, voor Mechelen was actually an ideal scenario for me, because it's that like the liberal, the green, and the independent people have joined forces on the one name, so no more about like political color. So that really also liberated me, kind of like, okay, this is actually a good step for a local base to start. So yeah.
Yeah, and so like, because you talked about like having like your values and boundaries, like what exactly were you looking for when it comes to like joining a party? Was there a specific course that you feel like, okay, this is something that I'm passionate about and I want my party to also have it? So like, what kind of values did you look for when you decided to go for that?
Yeah, I'm gonna be very honest. It was not like that I had already an agenda when I joined. I was more like, let me see what are the states of issues. What are the states, what are the things going on, and see where the maybe things are that I can fill in, like filling in the gap. So it was not like I came with an agenda and I'm gonna do it right away. And then from there, then I saw like, oh, this place is lacking, so I can contribute to that. And also what helped me again was like the Flemish Youth Council, because there I worked on mobility, equal chances, and about school. I don't know how to say it. Onderwijs. Sorry. Education. Voila. So those things, I had experience in that. So I try also to put in the effort there. When there were gatherings, I would join, voice out what I had to say. So that was the thing.
Okay. And like, what exactly is your role? Like with what you do, like what exactly do you have to do? What do you stand for with this party?
Yes, so voor Mechelen, as I said, is now a party that is more focused on engaged young citizens of Mechelen. So everyone can actually join, as long as you're really engaged, you want to have a positive influence and change in Mechelen, you can join the party. So for me, I'm standing more right now for like participation and to include more voices in the decisions. That can be through mini publics. It's like you have a discussion group of people and then they can voice out the things that they find. It's not that everything will be implemented, but at least you get something, feedback, you get ideas that you will try to work on. So I will stand more for like participation. Secondly, about mobility, I feel like Mechelen is doing a great job.
Because I studied in Mechelen, and when I went back to Mechelen a few days ago, Mechelen has changed. Mechelen is not what it was like 6-7 years ago. Like,
indeed,
it's different.
Indeed, voila. And I think so. The second is mobility, to have more accessible mobility for people with physical conditions. I think that is an area that we can work on. It's not that big, but it is something that we should pay attention to. And then the third is also something that I'm really passionate about, is about the place of the young people in Mechelen, like to strengthen their voice also more, because every policy, every decision that is made, it has always indirect impact on the world of young people.
True.
You have youth organizations in Mechelen, you have different kind of things that are already there, but I think they could be more meer betrokken. So
like
more
more
included,
involved,
more involved in the process of making decisions when it comes to things that will impact them. It's really simple, but I think those three things can be done.
Yeah, and now, so like elections are coming around, so on the 13th of October. So talk to me as somebody who has no knowledge of politics.
Yeah.
A 16-year-old. Like, do I have to vote? Like, is it necessary for me to do it? Like, how important is it? Like, because I feel like if you are not into politics, like I vote because I have to.
Yeah.
But sometimes you don't really understand what you're actually voting for. You just have to vote because you have to. So like, explain it to me as somebody that has no idea what it is about. Like for the elections that we are gonna have like next month.
Yes. So as you already said, we actually had already an election passed.
Yeah.
In June.
Exactly. Yeah.
That's like the highest level. So it's like the Belgian level, the European level that has passed. But now the focus is more on the local level.
Okay.
So in the city that you're living, you can actually go and vote for different parties. It's important to go through what every party is saying that they're going to do or have done in the past.
Yeah.
So it's not only the things that they are promising that you have to look at, but also what they have done in the past.
That's actually very interesting.
Voilà.
Because we forget that. Because I remember when we sorry to interrupt. Like,
No
I remember when I was for the June one.
Yeah.
Because now I moved from Tienen to Brussels.
Yeah.
So I'm in Brussels.
Mm-hmm.
And of course the parties are totally different. So when I was looking at, okay, who should I vote? I was looking at, what are these people thinking of doing now?
Yeah.
What is this party standing for? Because you have like websites where you can do the test to see how it goes, and then you're okay, I'm gonna align myself more to this party because I kind of believe that. So it's of course like you have to also think about what they did previously. That is very interesting as well. That you mentioned,
Voilà, exactly. And for the local elections, you're actually not obligated to vote.
Oh.
But I will say to everyone, just go and vote, because if you do not do that, it broadens the chances that extreme parties will have more votes and more domination in local levels. So I would say, don't mind, just act like you have to vote. So just go and vote. The third thing is look at the people that are all the candidates. Follow them on Instagram. Just go and see what they are doing. How much are they putting effort in? That also shows or speaks a lot about which kind of person they are. So that's also an important thing to do.
Okay. So now, politics, everything. So you are into politics. You are a Christian. You are young. Can I ask how old you are?
24.
You are 24.
Yeah.
So like, how do you combine? Because as a young girl, because when I was 24. I wasn't thinking about making an impact in the world, you know. I had other plans, but at such a young age, maybe let's start with getting yourself into politics. So you know how we think about politicians. Like, how do you come around with those, like I would say, negative connotation that we have with politicians?
Yeah, that was actually one of the things that was really bothering me when I wanted to make the bold step to do it. I was like, I will be labeled for that party forever. I'll be labeled as someone that will promise things but never do it. I'll be labeled for this and that and that and that. So, but I was like, okay, am I going to just hold myself back because of what people are going to think about me? Or am I going to do something that I know will have impact for people that do believe in me?
True.
So it was actually just my own decision, like, am I willing to not care about what people are going to say? And I think that's something that it's hard for everyone. I struggle with it, like, how are people going to perceive me?
True.
But again, through what I've been taught is that, do you give attention, or do you mind more what people say, or do you mind more what God is saying? Because at the end of the day, you're the only one that's going to stand before God. Like, are you going to justify yourself because this person thought I'll be like that, they thought of me like that, so I'm going to do this? like you don't have even like the strength to say that. So I was like, let me leave that aside and just follow the path, because when you're sent to a path, know that the Lord also pays your extras, you know, like those things, mental, spiritual, emotional things, he pays for that too if you just are obedient. So so for me, sorry for interrupting.
No worries. No, I was just like saying like now combining it with Christianity, like you are a Christian running for a party. How? Because we don't see that, and I'm actually very happy that you are doing it, because we don't see a lot of Christians in these political places, because of course again we have this bad connotation of being a politic. I feel like us Christians should actually be at that level, should have that kind of influence in the world as well. So like how do you do that?
Yeah, I will start with just a phrase that from, I think it was a youth gathering that we had once, and they said that we were sent into the world to change the system, to have influence. You were not created to only stay in church and have impact in your church. You are sent to the world. So the most important is, as we said, keep your principles, your values. Like that's the most important thing, because all the other candidates or people, they also have their standards, they have their principles. They are not afraid to voice it out. So why should you be afraid to voice out what you stand for? You can do that in a respectful way. It does not have to be a harsh way, like, you know, like I'm here to come and scatter you all. But just to, I don't know how to say, but I just look back to the story of Daniel actually. Because he had actually the same challenges. Like he was giving another name. All the people around him were atheists, so believing in different gods and all those things. But still, one thing that I studied about him is that he voiced things out to God, like praying to God, and it does not have to be like, you know, what we think, okay, pray to God, you know, you can just voice things out because he knows how you feel. So why not be real with God? Just be real with him, and also pray that he leads you. Always like things that you have to do. Lord, lead me. If this is not for me, don't let it work. Like, don't be afraid to say, don't let it work. Like, if the shame come, I'll always say to God, if the shame comes, it's you and me. It's not me alone.
It's me and you in this boat. Like.
Voila. So I think that really helped me also. Like, that is the main focus throughout. It's like, it's not that Christianity is something apart from who I am.
No.
You are one. It's one thing. So if I'm standing on this, I'm standing on this. If I'm talking with people, I'm just, it's not what I mean.
Yeah, I get it. I definitely understand.
So that really helped me. Yeah.
And what I love is like now you are seeing a lot of young people getting into politics. Because normally when you think of politics, you think about 70-year-old and 80-year-old. So like, how is the dynamic actually like working together with probably much older politicians? Like, how is the dynamic?
I'm very happy that the Voor Mechelen is really diverse in age, in gender, in migration background. So now I think we are with 25%, no, actually more than that, under 30 years old. So that's really, I don't know how to say, but it's really a good balance between everything. And the people, I call them the ancien people, they understand that if we want to keep a party, we need to involve, we have to involve new people, we have to involve
fresh perspectives.
Voila, that's it. So I think that was really a smart and a good move of the Voor Mechelen party, that they are not afraid like to push new people in front of them. Like, you know, that's actually, to me personally, that's a strength of a party, when you are able to push the people that are new also before you. Yeah.
Well, so now for the election that we're going to have next month, when you are elected, what does that mean? How is it going to impact your life, or what are you going to be doing for the Mishma?
Yeah, so the local elections, when you are elected, you are actually a city councillor. So you counsel the affairs of your city. It can be a policy about mobility, can be a new project, apartment that they want to build. You have influence on passing the policy or not. So that's actually a big function that you're doing. You are impacting your society literally. And it means also like in a month you can have more than 10 times meetings. It depends on which kind of topic that you're interested in. They call that then commission meetings, so then you have to join it. And then apart from that, you have also the normal, the youth, no, the city councils. Those meetings are really accessible for everyone, so you can actually join to see what they are talking about, but you just cannot interrupt them. So it's just amazing because it's really aligned with what I did, like the Flemish Youth Council and this. So it's like it feels like it was a bit of a preparation or something.
Exactly.
So yeah, that's what the function is.
That's really. And so now, so let's say you are elected, and which I really do hope you do, because it's gonna be good. Like I feel like you have a lot of like a passion for this, and that is not always that you see like politicians have passion to change something, wanting to make a change. So it's very, I really like it that that you do have this mindset. So what is the goal for now? Because now you're 24, you're studying political science, you're also doing like your local, like what is the end goal? Is it something that you want to do? You want to get to the next level? Will we be voting for you in like 4 years to be like, you know, like what is the goal for you?
So now my focus is more on like the coming months to see how it goes. And even if I'm not elected, it's not like, okay, the vision is dead now. Like I see this more as I have learned, I've seen the things that I've done. How can I change my strategy for the next in the future? So I think politics will be something that is not going to die off in the future. It can maybe take a different form. I just don't know yet what. But it will be probably still a platform of influence. Influence in different ways. It can be influence for particular the young people or broader general. So yeah, I'm really my future perspective is like really have impact on a global scale, like being one of the people sitting with big men to influence the world, literally.
Wow, that's nice. And like in terms of, so how do you combine like your studies with these? You probably have to go to meetings, and they're like, how do you combine those things?
Yeah, I'm happy that so for my master's I'm now only writing my thesis, so that's my only thing that I have to do, and I can submit it in December. So when that finished, I'm actually kind of free. I'm still working. I'm working also now, so it will be just work and being a city councillor. And there are people that have gone before me. Even a good friend of mine started when she was 21, a white girl, and she combined studying, doing a job, and being a city councillor. So I think we are able to do it.
But that's actually very impressive. Like, wow. And because like, what would you say to someone that is probably listening to this podcast and it's like, oh, I actually wanna get into this? Like, what is the step that they have to do to be able to, you know, at least get into it?
Yeah, I would say first of all, know your reason why and your purpose, because your reason why, if it is really formed well, it won't change over time. When difficult time comes, you still know your purpose, why you are doing this. And it's also important to know in which direction that you are being sent, because it's not, I have to say it bluntly, like it's not the focus of being a politician or a person of influence. What we're doing is also influence. It's not always to be in the front page. You can have impact behind the scenes. You can have impact with a friend. That's also impact. So let your value be put. Let your value and your joy be put in those things before you want to take over the bigger things. And that will even help you that when the bigger things come and you have conquered, you're doing well, it will not change the person that you are, because your purpose, your motivation was not in those big things. It's just first in the little things that you have mastered. So know your reason why first. Secondly, always also ask God for direction, like in the things that you're doing. It will not be like you hear God saying, okay, God, this
go
way.
for this thing.
No, but have the confidence that as long as I've prayed to God, you are directing me. I'm taking decisions, but you are directing it. If it does not fail, if it fails, then I know it's not you. If it does not fail, then you are pushing me. That's like the faith that you really have to make between you and God. That's the second one. And third, do not forget like the people that supported you from the beginning, like the core, your core. Do not forget.
Because you're gonna meet a lot of people on the way.
Yeah, you will meet a lot of people. Just don't forget your core, and my core is my family. My family and the people that have spoken into my life that really have like that they wish the best for you.
Yeah.
They are really pushing you. They are not afraid to mention your name somewhere. Do not forget about those people because those are your destiny helpers. Do not be blinded by the popular people when you're sitting with them and you think now they are your friends. Be a bit wise. Like you do not know the same people that are lifting you up and blah blah blah. They can bring you down again. So know your core, the people that started, that have witnessed the places where you feel, but they still supported you. Then you know that they are real people, real friends to you. And then fourth, just be wise. Like ask God also for wisdom. Don't be wise in your own eyes, thinking I got it all together. I know where I'm going. Oh, this person I trust because he or she did me good. Don't be led by those things. Be you, but just be smart. Be harmless as a dove, but just be smart as the serpent. Like be smart. Yeah. So yeah.
Nice. And if they are choosing like a party, like
okay. It's important. Choose a party that aligns
with what you believe in.
What you believe in and what you have also seen from the past. But I have to be honest with you, like there is no party at this moment that really brings forth the Christian faith. Even like parties, there is no party that is 100% following the Christian faith. So do not be led, do not be, misled by those things. But just choose a party that you know for a big, on a bigger scale, you see that it matches more with who you are, what you want to achieve, and where they are going. So I think that will be the one.
Okay, real short about the elections next month. How can they vote for you? How is it gonna be? What's your number? Like maybe a bit more like a short information about that so people will know, like in case they want to vote and how to vote and so on. Yeah.
Yes. So my number is 32. So on the city list for Mechelen, number 32, Anita. I think the easiest way to remind yourself of the day is just by following me on social media. But also, if you know people that live in Mechelen, because it's only Mechelen people, then you can also send, I make short videos and I'll be posting my link. So you can send it to them so that they are informed. So that's how they can support me.
Okay.
Yeah.
This has been so interesting and so I really enjoyed the conversation. I hope you enjoyed it as well.
I enjoyed it too.
Thank you so much for coming to the podcast, sharing your story. I think this podcast is this episode is gonna be very inspirational for other people. And I really do hope that young people can listen to this, see your work and what you do, that they're gonna feel motivated. And I really do hope that a lot of Christians can also know that, okay, this is something that actually I can do. It's not because I'm a Christian I cannot be in these spaces. Like I actually need to be there. And I love that you are taking that. You're becoming like that example for the other people to do. Even though it's such a young age, it's so beautiful what you are doing. And I really do wish you the best for this election. Finger crossed you get elected. But I love the fact that you said it's not because I don't get elected and all of a sudden everything is done. That's how you know how you are passionate about this. So really thank you for coming and. Let's see what happens on the 13th of October.
Yes.
Thank you so much for coming.
Thank you.
Well, guys, that was the end of this episode. I hope you guys enjoyed it because I did. And thank you so much for listening. And I will see you in the next episode. Bye.
Master Mason.